the behavior off the field now so much worse than it was back in the day?
It certainly seems that way. It just seems like we're in a different time now. I can't recall when I played seeing this many athletes involved in these situations. Now, I think it has something to do with, and this is my own little conspiracy theory, I think it has something to do with PEDs and testosterone levels in terms of taking steroids, leading to this type of behavior in terms of rage.
While so much attention has been paid to the National Football League and their slow-footed response to sexual abuse by their players, what's being missed is the fact this type of crime is not just a football matter when it comes to American sports. It speaks to an entitlement handed so many athletes in so many disciplines and must be addressed with no consideration as to what or whom it exposes and how uncomfortable it might be to discuss. Welcome to Midpoint, a true pioneer in the cause of women's rights. Her firm handles more women's rights cases than any other private law firm in the nation. And fair to say, people tremble when they see her coming, and well they should. Gloria Allred joins us on the show today. Gloria, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Gloria, 3 weeks ago, you said of the National Football League with regard to a lot of their response in these sexual abuse cases, the silence is deafening. Now, as we sit here today, is there anything that's made you believe that Roger Goodell and the NFL is actually, honestly, doing substantive things to change the culture that goes on in the National Football League?
Well, we're looking forward to the actual test of exactly what you inquired about. In other words, I represent two women. One alleges that she was sexually assaulted in California by an NFL player, that she reported it to the police, and that the player at the time was with the San Francisco 49ers and was then transferred to the Dallas Cowboys, where another allegation of rape has been filed by another one of my clients with the police, and the players continued to be permitted to play. And now I have raised the issue of the NFL's personal conduct policy. What is their policy? If an allegation of violence against women, in fact, 2 allegations of violence against women are reported to the police, is it the NFL's policy to continue to allow the player to play? And so I met with representatives of the NFL in New York last week, and I've raised those questions. The NFL now is interested in interviewing my clients, and I can confirm to you that they will be coming to my office. The NFL investigators will be coming to my office on October 27th to interview my California client who has made a report to the police. Now, the player, C.J. Spillman, has not been arrested in the California case. The investigation in Texas with the Grapevine police by my client who reported it to the police in Texas is ongoing. There is no decision yet as to whether or not an arrest will be made. But the NFL policy says that there is a higher standard for NFL players and for teams to promptly report to the NFL, even if there is no arrest, even if there is no prosecution, even if there is no conviction. If it would undermine public confidence in the NFL or the integrity of the NFL, then there is a duty to report. And there could be consequences for NFL players and teams if they don't report. So we're looking forward to see what the NFL is really going to do about this allegation.
Gloria, when you hear phrases like higher standard and you also talk about the personal conduct policy, is this just, in your opinion, nothing more than a snow job that the National Football League has been undergoing for so many years here, and they're just trying to get out from underneath this as quick and as easily and as cheaply as they possibly can?
Well, that is what we're trying to find out. You know, because the Commissioner Goodell in his September 19th news conference said, we want to get it right. We want to get our NFL house in order.
Do you believe him?
Well, this is the test, because Lisa Friel, who is the person hired by the NFL, a former sex crimes prosecutor, now working for a private firm, security firm, and retained by the NFL, this is the first case which she is investigating under the new policy, or the new, let's put it this way, after Commissioner Goodell said he wants to get it right. So we'll see what they do with this first case, which is our case, and we'll see what consequences, if any, there will be for the player. So I want to see on October 27th, when they interview my client here in Los Angeles, is this going to be an investigation that is fair to alleged victims, or just something that is going to protect the NFL brand, the players, the team. This is going to be the test, and we want to see, are they really going to get it right or not?
Gloria, what does it say to you, though, when the corporate sponsors throughout all of this, every single one of the major sponsors has stuck with the NFL. The ratings aren't really down at all. And not only that, but you have women at some of the games who actually are saying, doesn't make a difference what happened. We're still NFL fans. It doesn't seem as if to the general public that any of this has had a major effect on the NFL right now. And we all know, at the end of the day, it's all about money.
Well, it is about money, and they're protecting their brand. But, you know, we're not going to go silently into that dark night. We are going to speak up for victims. And, you know, the fact that he has hired some women who have some experience in violence and sex executions, and the fact that he's made a lot of donations, the NFL's made a lot of donations to domestic violence hotlines, all that is good. But we want to see something in practice. We want to see, is there really going to be a hearing for the player? We want to see, for example, when they do this investigation, are they going to also interview the person who is accused in these allegations, C.J. Spillman? Is he going to give a response? You know, what are going to be the rules? What is the NFL commissioner going to do when he is faced with this test? Are there going to be consequences or not? The NFL personal conduct policy, which, by the way, was the subject of discussion by the team owners in New York last week. You know, we want to see, is that going to be enforced? Is this going to be just a bunch of words on paper?
Gloria, I can tell you from somebody who's been around the NFL, and I covered them for a lot of years, that personal conduct policy was almost never used, never instituted. It was always overlooked so many times. And these are people who actually saw things happening. It was something that they never really put into use. I'm all out of time, unfortunately. Let me ask this. You said that the NFL is coming to meet with you on October the 27th.
Yes.
We'd like to give you a call after that meeting. Let's talk again. Let's find out exactly what you found at that time. I'd love to get your opinion at that time, seeing if the NFL is really serious moving forward.
Let's do it. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
You're on. Thank you so much, Gloria, for your time.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Later on this hour, what might be the only way possible to stop identity theft, or at least keep banks from giving away your money. And after the break, the former head of FEMA weighs in with his take on the government's response to the Ebola crisis. Maybe it's time just to stop blaming people. But then again, when you think about it, maybe it's time for a change at the top of the CDC. That and so much more coming up right here on Midpoint.
President Obama chooses a point man to lead the government's response to Ebola. I'm Miranda Kahn. This story tops your Newsmax Now update. He picks Ron Klain, the former chief of staff for Vice President Joe Biden. Klain will oversee health security here at home, and he'll monitor actions to stop Ebola in West Africa. Meanwhile, doctors say the first Dallas nurse to contract the virus, Nina Pham, is in fair condition. Pham was moved to a special medical facility in Maryland late last night. And in Nigeria, there may be freedom for the hundreds of girls kidnapped by the militant group Boko Haram months ago. Reports say the government reached a truce with the radicals. Back in the U.S., a federal judge in Arizona overturns the ban on same-sex marriage. The judge says the ban is unconstitutional. That was your latest Newsmax Now update. We'll have more coming your way in about 30 minutes.